notice?
Can't talk.
Yes.
Call meeting to order for Wheaton Board for Tuesday, April 30th, 2019. Roll call.
Bud Beckwith, Laura Hayden, Ken Books,
Here.
Wayne Miller,
Yep.
Al Ostrowski,
Here.
Mark Laskowski.
Here. Parks
Ken, you got
meeting,
this on?
review, discuss, act on appointing 2 members to the Plan Commission, appointing a member to the Fire Board, and member serving on the Plan Commission, the board member serving on the Plan Commission. So first thing I'm gonna do is go through the Plan Commission, appointing members to the Plan Commission. There were 6 people who were notified to either me or Scott. Herb Steinmetz, Scott Morris, Chuck Wood, Carolyn Kaiser, Adam Blaskowski, and Larry Halverson. So the way this will work is you guys want to discuss it. For me, I would appoint Chuck Wood and Carolyn Kaiser, but you guys we can discuss this and decide who you want to do, who you want on there. Who would you guys want? I mean, it's fine, whoever, doesn't matter. We need to get people on here, 2 of them, so.
Well, I was thinking that Chuck Wood would be very good because he's east of T, and we never get anybody east of T, and he's a businessman. I thought that I would like Scott Morris because Scott Morris has a law enforcement background. And I just thought maybe that would kind of help out on some of the times when we're talking about ATVs or we're talking about ordinances and things like that.
Good point. Okay.
Maureen, do you have anything?
Yeah, I think it'd be great to have a businessman on there. And being Chuck that is one, we get a different point of view from what we've been getting, or an extra view that we haven't been getting. And I know there's been several times that I consulted with Scott and other law enforcement officers about things that came up that we had questions about. And I think it'd be nice to have him sitting on the board also. I think those 2 would be an excellent choice. Not that, a couple of the others wouldn't either, but I think those 2 have shown interest, 8-9 months ago already, that they'd like to be on there. So I think that they'd be, in my book, they'd be a good choice.
From my perspective, I think it'd be good to have a little diversity within the group. Getting some different perspectives. From the Parks Commission side. I mean, we have several different perspectives in that group, and I think that helps with some of the the discussions and the byproducts of what come out of that commission. So from my perspective, I think having a members on the Plan Commission that represent a couple different areas would be good. I think it's also, the fact that we have this many people interested, I think is a great thing. That people are taking an interest in town of Wheaton government.
Township, yes, I do too. Okay, there you go, Mr. Chairman.
So who do you think, who are you looking at? Ken? A couple of people.
From my perspective, I would like to see a business on the Plan Commission.
So we're
Chuck.
kind of in agreement to get Chuck on there?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get that taken have Chuck on there. The other ones introduced here so far have been discussed with Scott and Carolyn, so, you know, whatever you guys want, whatever you wanna do with that. Either one, I don't think there's any issue, and whoever can, you got one of the others, that's fine too, so.
Propose that they go with Scott Morris.
What's that?
I'll propose that they go with Scott Morris.
That question.
Yeah.
Herb Steinmetz, owns the way 340th Street. How did the other people that are on there find out about this opening? Did people from the board call them? Or did they have to find out?
I inquired myself when I saw Wayne at the transfer station. And then later I asked Norris about it.
Okay, so all the people called you and they weren't contacted by any of you people, correct?
That's correct.
Nobody here contacted any of those 6 people?
Scott and Chuck both have showed interest 8, 9 months ago that they're interested in getting on it if there was ever an opening.
Okay, and I've seen, oh, is this Scott here?
Scott's right here.
Scott, I've never seen him at a meeting.
He's been to a couple.
Township meetings?
I'm talking about planning meeting.
No, I haven't gone to a planning meeting.
Okay, and you've been to a couple of township meetings?
Yeah.
So you've had a lot of interest in the township in the past?
I've lived here 18 years.
Yeah, I've lived here all my life.
Okay, that's terrific. I do have a lot of interest in the township. And I'm retired. I have a little part-time job. I have plenty of time to be involved in it. I think I have a good educational background, professional background, and I think I have a lot to offer the planning commission.
And there are other people that do it. So none of you people who talk to these people had interest, right?
In the,
Yes, I just said that.
in the
I
pa-
just want you to say.
in the past, I've crossed paths with them in the past, and they've expressed interest. But it was said that they needed to call the chairman or Scott Deutscher, and that's what they did.
Okay,
They
and
didn't call
My last
us.
question is, why am I not considered for this?
Herb, I figure you're going to show up anyway, so we're gonna have you going over there anyway. You even told me you were going
Yeah, I
to.
know,
You're gonna
but-
keep showing up, and that's fine.
That's the case, and I'm going there all the time, then maybe one of these other people that you're talking about that never go there, or hardly frequently go there, maybe they could come, and just like I could if I was there all the time.
I think it's great to have the diversity, and I think it's great to have some new blood and some fresh faces to look at things. And I think both of you will do very well at that, having somebody new come in and take a look. Can I make a motion?
Sure.
I make a motion that the 2 new members appointed to the Planning Commission are Mr. Chuck Wood and Mr. Scott Morris.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded to appoint Chuck Wood and Scott Morris to the Planning Commission. Roll call.
Bud Beckwith. Ken Books.
Aye.
Wayne Miller.
Aye.
Al Ostrowski.
Aye.
Mark Laskowski.
Aye. That's fine. Appoint member to the fire board. Right now, I'm on the fire board. Somebody else want to be on the fire board?
I'll do it if you don't want to. I'll help lighten up your load.
If you, that's fine with me.
Do you think that, I think that would be a good idea because you have been a firefighter too. Wayne is
I
also,
have-
he has fire,
It's difficult for me. I'll be
Fire.
happy to help out. And I'll be happy to go to the meetings. I'm better off if I'm not on the board with the way everything is arranged. With the fire department, I'm better off not being on the board. That's one of the reasons they didn't allow us in the meeting the other night. And so, it's just gonna be better off if I'm not. So I appreciate it if you do that. And I'll be more than happy to go through the information with you and review all of the financials. We need to do that anyway.
Okay.
And we need to
Where do they meet,
get
Mike?
something arranged so that we look at whether we're going to stay in this fire department or going to, we need a group that's put together to look at that, to see whether or not we even stay in the fire district. I mean, it's just, they're not wanting to, they don't want to change, that's for sure. And it's not gonna be any good for the town of Wheaton, I don't think. I mean, I think we're gonna be, we have to do something. They either have to change, or we need to, but if we get out of the fire district and we tell them by October 1st that we're getting out, then we have to have a plan, which means we're going, so that's what the fire board representative, you're gonna have to put up with that. I mean, and they're going to be raising hell about it.
They already
'Cause
tried
they-
picking my brain last meeting.
They're gonna be fighting.
I just
Because
told
I
them
don't think they want us
know.
to leave, but it's not an economical thing. I mean, all the stuff they did with Loopy and everything is just, that's not the proper way to go
Aren't they
through
just
that.
getting real expensive too?
And they're terribly expensive right now.
And it's going to
And
get
it's
worse.
going, yeah, it's going
only
way
gonna
up. They
get
are
worse.
not managing the budget,
Right.
period.
Right.
They're not managing the budget.
Where did they get off having Alice leave that meeting saying she couldn't stay, being Wheaton's a member, but John Anderson was able to stay in that meeting?
Don't know. They had lawyers sitting there. They'd have done that to anybody that was there, pretty much because I was on the board, so that's all right. Then we'll be good with that. Then-
So do we need to make a motion?
Yeah, let's.
I'll make a motion that the new fire board member for the town, representing the township of Wheaton, for the fire district is Mr. Wayne Miller.
I'll second it.
Roll call.
Bud Beckwith, Ken Books,
Aye.
Wayne Miller,
I'll rescind. All aye. See,
Alice
I
Rossi.
offered.
Aye.
Mark Weskowski.
Plan commission member serving on, board member serving on the plan commission, I recommend nominate Alice to continue on the plan commission for another year.
Yeah, I expressed an interest to continue for the next year.
I'll second that. I think she's doing an
Motion
excellent
made and
job.
seconded to appoint Alice to the plan commission for one more year. All in favor, roll call.
Bud Beckwith, Ken Books,
Aye.
Wayne Miller,
Aye.
Alice Drosky,
Aye.
Mark Weskowski.
Aye.
I have a
Motion carries.
question.
Yeah.
Where's the diversity in this decision?
In what, which one?
Naming Alice back on the,
Well, she's got all of the stuff in line right now, so, and we got a couple of people, new people on the board. We got it for a year. We'll see what happens next year. We got one more year, we got another year. Herb, none of this stuff moves fast, so let's see how everything goes. We get working together on this stuff. We gotta get moving and working together so that all this commercial, I like that idea of Chuck being on there because everybody, people are complaining, oh, we got this just commercial right there. And we do, but, that's a insight from where over that way should we be doing that kind of thing and all that kind of stuff. So I'm happy to have everybody on there and we'll just keep going, get another year under the belt and see how it goes, see how things are going. We'll see if everybody wants to stay. Hell, after 3 months, Scott might say to hell with you guys. So, we'll see, but anyway.
Then Ken Books. That means Wayne Miller's and Gary DeMoe's emails have to go to Chuck and to Scott. Could we do that before Friday, because Friday the agenda goes out for the Wheaton Planning Commission?
You can do that tonight if you want.
If you guys can stick around, we'll do it right after the meeting.
Oh, good, that would be great, because the agenda will come out for May 7th. That's our first Wheaton Planning Commission meeting, May 7th, first Tuesday, 7 o'clock at the fire station. Okay. Motion to adjourn? Second it?
Sure, I'll second it.
Motion
That's
made,
it.
seconded to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Meeting carried.